Brace yourselves for this. You know that the one in, one out deal is going swimmingly well when one of the migrants that has been sent back to France under this scheme is already back in the UK. Yes, a migrant who was sent to France under the new one in, one out scheme that has only deported 42 people so far, by the way, has already got himself back on a dinghy back to the UK. You literally cannot make this up. He's spoken in an exclusive to The Guardian about why on earth he has come back to the UK. But before we get to that, let's just remind ourselves of how this one in, one out deal has played out. We had Starmer and Macron announce the deal. Starmer very proud and very clear that this is going to be a strong deterrent that stops people coming illegally to Britain. We were told that 50 people were going to be sent every single week, and that would be a strong deterrent. Most of us said 50 doesn't really sound like enough, but they can't even manage to send 50 a week. And we had Yvette Cooper telling us then at the beginning of August that they have started detaining the first people to be sent back to France. And so we expected deportations to start happening quite quickly, but then we had deathly silence for a month. And then at the beginning of September, when Parliament first came back, she spoke in the Commons and told us that she hopes that some deportations might start within the month of September. Pretty slow moving, given when Starmer and Macron announced it. They said it was going to be up and running within weeks and that it was going to start with 50 people a week as a minimum and then start moving up. But then the first deportation flights finally happened, and they planned to happen. They'd booked out dozens of seats on these Air France planes every single day. On the first day, they didn't manage to send anybody back. Why? Because of lefty lawyers and charities hammering Air France, saying, "Don't you dare do this, don't you dare put that man on the plane." It was halted. And then on the second day, they tried again to put somebody on a plane. Again, absolute failure. And then I think it was on the third day, they managed to send one guy who actually was an Indian man, by the way, probably one of the migrants who's come from a culture that we are the least concerned about. And now, just a few days ago, the Home Office are boasting that they have sent a record number of illegal migrants on a flight back to France. They managed to send 16 migrants back to France. That brings the total to 42. This deal, total since the beginning of this deal, is 42. This was announced ages ago. End of July, start of August, this deal? We are now nearly at the end of October and you've managed to send 42 people and you're boasting about it? Really? They put this graphic on Twitter. Take a look. Boasting about the record single flight of illegal migrants returned under the UK-France deal. Why are they pretending that this is going well? Especially given the news today, which, as I said, is that a man sent to France under this deal is already back in Britain. He spoke to The Guardian. Let's take a look at the details. So a man sent to France has returned to the UK via a small boat. He wants to claim asylum in Britain and has spoken to The Guardian. He is currently in an immigration detention centre. I believe the Home Office, they have confirmed that they have got this man, and they say they are trying to find a way as soon as possible to send him back, because the terms of this deal apparently are that if you come to Britain and you are sent back to France, you won't be eligible for asylum if you come back another time. So we'll see what happens, but I'm sure some lefty lawyer will get involved and try and keep him here in the UK, especially under human rights laws, given the quote that he sent to The Guardian suggesting that he's having the absolutely most horrific experience in France imaginable. So, the Home Office sources, before that, they say that he claims to be a victim of modern slavery in the hands of people smugglers in northern France. I'm going to show you his quote in just a moment. Before we do that, if you're enjoying this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel down below. Now let's take a look at this guy's quote to The Guardian about his experience. This does sound like it's being put together carefully so that he can launch a human rights claim to stay in the UK, but you make of it what you will. He says, "If I had felt that France was safe for me, I would never have returned to the UK. When we returned to France, we were taken to a shelter in Paris. I didn't dare go out because I was afraid for my life. The smugglers are very dangerous. They always carry weapons and knives. I fell into the trap of a human trafficking network in the forests of France before I crossed to the UK from France the first time. They took me like a worthless object, forced me to work, abused me, and threatened me with a gun and told me I would be killed if I made the slightest protest. Every day and every night I was filled with terror and stress. Every day I live in fear and anxiety. Every loud noise, every shadow, every strange face scares me. When I reached the UK the first time and the Home Office asked what had happened to me, I was crying and couldn't speak about this because of shame." Now look, I don't doubt his experience in northern France, because what happens in northern France, if you go to northern France wanting to get on a boat and you don't have the money to get on a boat, it's very common that you will agree to work for the people smugglers for some time, live there for several months, helping, for example, sneak the parts for the boats down to the beaches and assemble them in the middle of the night for various trips in order to earn your trip over to Britain. And yes, of course, those smugglers, I mean, they are illegal gangs. They are assholes. They will probably treat you like shit. However, that is a choice that you make, to go to northern France, to get involved with those gangs and agree to do slave work for them in all, well, you can call it slavery, you can call it what you want, right? But it's not very nice work to earn your way over to Britain, right? But he's now talking about being sent back to Paris. I highly doubt you're having that same experience in Paris. Most people would love to live in Paris. What do we call it? The city of love. I'm sure there are, so of course there are dodgy parts of Paris and whatnot, but it is a first world country. It's not northern France, and clearly this man is conflating the two. What happens in northern France with the smuggling gangs who are there operating there, sending people on boats, is very different to your experience if you claim asylum in France and you choose to stay in your accommodation there. Okay, so that is the latest. I think this is absolutely hilarious. It's hilarious that we have already got people coming back to the UK who were sent away to France, and it is absolutely hilarious that this scheme that was meant to send a minimum of 50 a week, it was meant to start at 50 a week and then go up from there in a pilot scheme. We can't even get anywhere near 50 a week. Instead, we've got the Home Office boasting that they've managed to send 16 people on one flight in 1 week. It was meant to be 50 a week. Why are they proud of this? I mean, this is pathetic. Do they think that we're stupid? Do you think we're going to be impressed that they've sent 16 people to France? A total of 42 since the beginning of this scheme that was meant to start with 50 a week months ago? They should have sent hundreds and hundreds by this point. They haven't. They have completely and utterly failed. The one policy that they had that was potentially a little deterrent, no one ever thought it was going to be that effective, but potentially might be a little deterrent, they can't even get that off the ground. 50 people a week being swapped, they can't even make that happen. This is pathetic. This is a government that is falling apart, that is out of control, that simply cannot get anything done, especially when it comes to stopping the boats. Anyway, that is the latest in the migrant madness. I'm Chloe Dobbs. Thank you very much for watching this video, and make sure you hit the subscribe button down below so that you are up to date with all the news.